Welcome to this mini lesson on anthropomorphism. This is part of a series on literary devices, so make sure you check out the other videos in this series to get a better understanding of other literary devices. Today, we are learning to understand what anthropomorphism is and why authors might use it. In the first video of this series, we broke literary devices down into two categories, elements and techniques. Anthropomorphism is a literary technique. It plays with words and ideas to create new meaning. Anthropomorphism is a fairly long word, but don't let it intimidate you. It's relatively easy to understand, especially if we begin by separating the word into its various parts. Let's start with anthropo. This is a root word that means human. You'll find it in words like anthropology, which means the study of humans, and philanthropy, which means the love of humanity, usually in the context of giving generously to charities. So anthropo lets us know that anthropomorphism has something to do with humans. Next up, we have morph. Morph means shape. For example, metamorphosis means to change shape. You probably have heard this before in the context of caterpillars turning into butterflies. Lastly, let's look at ism. It's a suffix that is used in a variety of ways, most often to indicate an action, a practice, or a process. Criticism, for example, is the act of criticizing, and plagiarism is the act of stealing someone else's work. Now it's time to put these meanings together to make a definition. Anthropomorphism is the act of shaping something as a human. I'll flesh it out a little. Basically, it's when something that isn't human is reshaped as if it were human. This happens when non-human things are given human emotions, behaviours, or motives. You're probably already familiar with heaps of examples of anthropomorphism, but may not realise it. Think about movies and TV shows that have animals as the main characters, such as Mickey Mouse. He is a prime example of anthropomorphism. He walks upright like a human. His two front legs have been reshaped into arms and hands. He talks like a human, wears clothes, and has a relationship with Minnie that resembles human romance. Whilst it's easy to think of many examples of anthropomorphized animals, any non-human object can be anthropomorphized. Think Forky from Toy Story. Interestingly, anthropomorphism originated as a term to describe ancient mythologies, such as the Roman and Greek legends about the gods. Those deities were portrayed as human, not just in art, but their emotions, behaviour, and motives in the stories were very human as well. Therefore, those ancient deities, such as the Greek god Zeus, are examples of anthropomorphism. Let's check our understanding. Look at the following pictures and determine which of the characters have not been anthropomorphized. I'll give you 5 seconds. Diego, the saber-toothed tiger, and Manny, the mammoth, are both extinct animals with the ability to talk. They also have very human character traits. Roshan, the baby from Ice Age, is a young human character. He behaves how you would expect a human baby to behave, and therefore has not been anthropomorphized. Similarly, Mr. Connors is a real-life human being, so he has not been anthropomorphized. So, why do authors use anthropomorphism? Why do we turn animals, objects, and deities into humans? There are a number of reasons, but we'll just focus on 4 today. Firstly, stories about talking animals, toys, or vehicles capture children's imaginations. Much of the charm of movies like Finding Dory, Toy Story, or Cars would be lost if the main characters were humans. Sometimes anthropomorphism is used for a comedic or humorous effect. Consider Brian from Family Guy. Most of what he says and does is funny because he is a dog. If he were human, the character wouldn't work. Another use of anthropomorphism is to emphasize character traits. Foxes are often used to symbolize slyness and cunning. Therefore, Roald Dahl writes his cunning thief as the anthropomorphized fox, Fantastic Mr. Fox. Audiences immediately make the connection between a fox's sneakiness and Mr. Fox's character. Lastly, using anthropomorphism means we're able to tell far more interesting stories. Consider The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. It's narrated by Death. By anthropomorphizing death itself, Zusak creates a unique perspective on the events of the story that might not be as interesting if it were merely written from a human's perspective. In summary, We've explored anthropomorphism as a literary technique that makes a non-human thing seem human by giving it human emotions, behaviours, or motives. It might be used to appeal to children, create humour, emphasise character traits. It also allows us to tell a greater variety of interesting stories. Hopefully now you have a good understanding of anthropomorphism. To consolidate your learning, download the PDF activities from the description below. You can also check out the other videos in this series. Don't forget to head over to our rival channel, Al and Robbo's amazing Maths and Science channel, for all things maths and science. Thank you for listening. We hope to see you back soon.